Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got another really awesome uh, stream for you today. We got some really cool stuff on the schedule. So, in case you guys don't remember, I am Steph, also known as Fem Steph to some of you, and I appreciate you guys being here. And this on this side.
Wonderful stream. And I'm Matthew, Rorie. I'm the head of community here at Null Games, and we are going to start talking today about Athena Crisis, which I've been playing a lot of recently. I've been doing a lot of video recording, playing a bunch of it. I'm really excited to show off more of the game to you today.
And also, we do have some game keys to give away. We have some Demon Spore Dare Drop shout outs to show you guys towards the end of the stream. And we have an amazing guest we will bring on in a little bit. So I'll kind of keep that as a surprise. But first and foremost, we have a brand new trailer that I would love for you guys to check out. So we're going to roll that right now. So we're gonna welcome on Christoph Nakazawa, the CEO of Nakazawa Tech. Welcome, Christoph. Thanks for being on the stream with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your backstory? Why did you start making games? What was the inspiration for Athena Crisis?
Yeah, that's great. It all kind of happened at the same time, over 20 years ago, actually. When I was a kid, I was a teenager, and I just really I love video games, of course, like many folks do when they're young. But I also just really got excited about like building video games, and so I figured out how to code, or I taught myself how to code. I got the internet and like just got on it and like learned how to code. And at the same time, I was playing a game called Advance Wars, and like I've loved it ever since. And so I just wanted to recreate some of those games that I really loved when I was a child, and also give that feeling of what it feels like to play these sort of games as a child back to people. And so that's how I started building Athena Crisis.
Yeah, Athena Crisis definitely has a lot of Advance Wars feel, but a modern twist to it. So, um, also one thing that I think is really cool is that Athena Crisis runs in browser. Can you tell us a little bit about the cross-platform play, how you can pick up and play pretty much anywhere?
Yeah, that's really like a wild part. Like if you haven't tried out Athena Crisis, you can actually just go to athenacrisis.com, and like the game will like instantly load on that website, and you can like play one or two demo maps. Also when you reload, you might get a different like scenario, so you can try different maps. But the game is like literally right there. So it kind of runs everywhere where you can run a web browser, right? And so it's very easy to take that game that's like on this website, put it, like put a whole app around it, kind of like put a campaign into it, like, add users so that they can interact with each other. But you can also like take that website and like package it as an app, and then put it on like basically every system, every desktop, every mobile system on the Steam Deck, and like everywhere where you want it to be.
That's really cool, especially for a game like this. Like to be able to kind of pick up and play whenever, especially with friends, like that's awesome.
Yeah, so this game runs in a browser. It runs on Steam Deck. It runs on phone. It runs on multiple phones and everything. What was your kind of inspiration to get this running across so many different platforms? It's Steam Deck as well. I have a hard time keeping them all straight in my head, but I know the game's very portable. Was that like a driving goal for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've always since back in that time when I like started coding about 20 years ago, I've always wanted to build things for the web because that was the easiest way to like share it with people, right? And like in the last few weeks, I even made like the campaign pages, the map pages, the map browser, all these things public, so you don't even need an Athena Crisis account to like see kind of like the maps that you could play in it. And I just want to be able to like give people a link and be like, hey, go check this out, and like have people be able to like jump in, right? There's like absolutely no friction to that experience where you don't have to go press a bunch of buttons, do like a 10 gigabyte or 100
Yeah.
gigabyte download. You can like literally jump in within like a second or so, and like try to get the system to have like less than a second or so load times. And the cool thing here is just that you get all these things for free when you build on the web, right? Like this whole interaction between users where there's like a campaign editor, you can make campaigns and other people can play it, but you can also together with your friends make an entire single player campaign for Athena Crisis, collaboratively, and then share it with other people. And like just yesterday I showed like a prototype feature in the game actually, where somebody like just came into the game yesterday as we launched early access and like was playing the single player campaign and was like joined our Discord and asked a bunch of questions. And then I actually like went to their single player campaign and I invaded their single player world. So this person was playing a single player game against the AI, but then at some point I just showed up on that map. I took over the AI. Like I came with my own like faction, but then I beat the AI, and now this is like a single player campaign where actually this person needs to beat me to win his own single player campaign. And there's all these like amazing kind of features that you can build into a system when you build on the web.
Yeah, I think so. There are going to be a bunch of other streamers playing Athena Crisis this week on Twitch. If you do happen to search for Athena Crisis or see anybody playing, you might see Christoph jump in and maybe try it as well. I know that's part of the plan. We can't guarantee it. I've been watching a bunch of people play today, and it's really fun to see this one person this morning. We'll get some shout outs later on, but he just picked it up and knew exactly what to do. He's very very good at strategy
Mhm.
games, so it's been really fun to see people playing. Because we've been playing a bunch, and the people on Discord have been playing a bunch, and there's already full campaigns made by the community and everything like that. But finally seeing a lot more other people play it has been really fun today. And keep on watching Twitch throughout the week because a lot of people are going to be streaming.
Yeah, I definitely it's cool to see people who are really familiar with the genre just jump on in and know exactly what to do, but I'm not a huge like I don't play the genre very often, but I do have fun when I do, and hopping in there was a little bit of figuring out, but I think the challenge is what made it really satisfying. So when I actually completed a map and moved on to the next one, I felt accomplished. I was like, "Go, Steph, you did it." So
Yeah,
if
that's
you go
definitely like a feeling that like I want to evoke in people. I don't want to like make them feel like they're just being handheld the whole time and be like, go click
Mhm.
this, go click that. Of course, like a certain difficulty level comes with that, right? So it's
Yeah.
like not that easy. But then if you do lose like the first two maps or so like a few times, and then you actually get it, like that
Mhm.
feeling like just feels so rewarding. And to me, that's something that like a lot of modern games are like missing nowadays. Where I'm like, I want to just figure out how this works, right? But instead, like it drowns me in all these tutorials. I think there's a sweet spot there, and Athena Crisis could definitely guide the players a little bit better. But like it's there's no harm in just trying the same thing a few times until you figure it out.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
a lot of games coming up doing that, like Elden Ring. All the Dark Souls games have that. I've been playing a lot of Returnal lately too, which kind of has a few tutorials, but really sink or swim. So, balancing this kind of difficulty in games is always tough. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when we do some gameplay. But I think we have one more thing we want to do before we hop in.
Yes. So if you guys in the chat right now, if this is perking your interest, if you guys are starting to get really excited, we are going to do some game key giveaways. So I do have two to give away to you guys. If you want to just start typing Athena Crisis into the chat, it'll cue you in to the giveaway, and we'll have that going on in the background while you guys watch. So I
Awesome.
think Christoph and Rory here are going to hop into a game
We
and start
are.
showing it off.
So we're gonna have a few different. Or we are gonna take a pretty close look at what Athena Crisis is. We're gonna start off with a campaign. This is a mission from a few. What do you say? About halfway through the prequel campaign, correct, Christoph? This is called Lift. I didn't start the game, so you don't see the intro to this, but basically we are playing as the pink team here. Hopefully you can see. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Okay, you can see where I'm going. You want to explain what the goal of this map is? Because most maps early on in the campaign are either wipe out the enemy or capture their HQ, but this one is a different one.
Yeah, this one is pretty fun. You're just thrown into this scenario where you see like some of the leader units on the left top like arrive, and like they come into this battle that's like been going on. Yeah, that's like one of our leader units. So each like unit type has like a leader unit, and they have a name. If you can go to the leader tab, you can like show off the portrait. They have like a description, and they also get like a bonus. So the game incentivizes you to build different units rather than being building the same unit all the time.
Awesome.
And so in this scenario, it's an escort map, so you have to like bring one unit like somewhere else. And the way Athena Crisis works is that it tries to have like a lot of visual clarity for these sort of things. So this unit is like tagged with a label, so you can see this like kind of flag like moving around on the right top. You cannot see it from that view, but
yeah, but it's right here.
maybe I can add it actually.
Follow
But like you
my
can see this
cursor.
label, yeah. And so if you go to the right side, there's like an info button.
Oh yeah, here we go.
All the way on the right, yeah.
How to
And it
win.
like tells you, hey, how do you win? So the default is like, you just defeat all the other units or capture their HQ. But in this case, the way to win is to to escort all the units with that pink label, and that's like only that one unit. So basically, all you have to do is bring that transport helicopter all the way to the left top.
All right, so as a turn-based strategy game, you are going to be taking turns. You usually go first, and I find in this map especially, some of the enemy units have already been weakened, which is really good. I might be playing on an easy. I have a feeling it's a different story on hard. But they do have anti-air units up here, which are going to be really powerful against our planes, and you want to be careful about taking those out. I'm going to go and start moving, I think. I'm going to start off with them, because I know these anti-air units. Another thing to keep in mind, there's a million tactical and strategic levels to this game. If I weaken these anti-air units, the less health they have, the less damage they do and output. You can drop down to like 30%, right? I think is what the current term is. So even if I can't kill them outright, they can't counterattack because they're anti-air units. They can't. Although I've seen enough movies where they use anti-air cannons on infantry that.
Oh yeah, they do counter attack a little bit, but then
Oh, okay,
your
they do.
launcher
Okay.
unit is so strong that it takes away most of the health. So
I
this
was
is like
yeah.
actually an interesting game design element here, because there's like a pier, and that anti-air unit can like directly reach your transport helicopter. So the way the game is like teaching you that you have to move that unit somewhere else is,
Yeah.
if you don't in the first turn, you'll automatically lose that map.
Yeah.
And so I had a bunch of people that are like, oh, I didn't realize I have to like, escort that unit, and I left it there. And they immediately lose the map on the first turn. With ideally, like, that's not a lot of time investment, but that's a good way to teach people how to interact on this map.
So this unit can't go over the deep sea, right? Is that it's not supposed to? It's supposed to go over the light area?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So we gotta.
There are like some units that cannot go over deep sea. That's just to make the naval combat a bit more interesting, because otherwise all the naval units and air units can just cross over every other field, and that way you can like restrict the movement a little bit.
As we're seeing here, like these I forget these names of these. The jetpack units cannot go over the deep sea, but I do have to worry about these two planes here. There's a million planes here for the enemies. Most of them are too far away to really worry about right now, but I do think we need to at least try to make sure that as many of these people are taken out. Luckily, these little fighter planes can be shoot from a distance, so I don't have to be right next to another unit. And so I'm going to try to weaken up the enemy here, and I'm doing a pretty good job. Most of these units are kind of falling apart. This one's this is one of the fighter jets. Yeah, so this is going to be a little tougher to take out from this little guy. But let's try to weaken up as many units as we can. I think if I park here, this unit might get shot down, but it's always good. Yeah, this is probably a bad mistake here because that anti-air unit might be coming for me next turn. But I'm just going to try to weaken everybody up, and hopefully next turn I can do some more mop-up stuff. Valentine needs to live, right? He will, if he dies, the mission's over?
No, it doesn't matter in this.
Okay,
map.
okay.
Yeah, they're just there to observe on the shores.
Awesome.
So the interesting thing here is like you already talked about this like small fighter, like the X fighter.
Yeah.
And that's what I really care about for this type of game is the community participation and like figuring out like what the game should be and what certain units should be like. And if people contribute, then I'm always excited to like listen to their ideas and like make changes. So the X Spider was actually a completely different unit when we started private early access, and it wasn't like differentiated enough compared to other units. And so somebody recommended, hey, what if they could be like a long distance air unit that also can do short distance attacks? So it's like currently the only unit in the game that can do that, like both short and long range unit attacks. And so we kind of redesigned what the unit looks like. We redesigned what it does, and that's all thanks to some community members. So you know, if you're excited about this game or this type of game, join our Discord and you know give feedback and share your ideas.
Yeah, the Discord's very, very active. There are some people who have a lot of opinions about game design. It's been really interesting to see them come up, but they do have really good feedback. Some of it's not always, you know, implementable, but they are very dedicated to helping you make this game, which is always nice to see. All right, so Orange took their turn. All you can do is really watch when they're going off, but I need to still follow up. These units are pretty powerful against my little guys here, so I need to probably just start hitting them from all sides. I only do 17 damage to this bigger unit, so this is going to take a little. It's going to be difficult to take these guys out, I think. Let's move around and try to get them hurt a little bit, and then because obviously if I leave them in the path of my chopper, they could possibly come and shoot them down. But if I weaken them up enough, or maybe I'm not going to have enough movement to really do some damage here, but I don't. Now, for an escort unit like this, does the AI know that they have to shoot down the escorted unit? Do they prioritize them, or do they kind of like go around everybody else?
Yeah, partially. So it's good if you block off access to that unit. Otherwise, they'll definitely lose it.
Okay. I'm going to keep on moving here. I'm going to try and be a little risky here and move this guy here and supply. So these units do have ammo and both fuel, right? Especially these jetpacks. They have air-to-air missiles, machine guns. I know some units have fuel, but they do need to be resupplied during gameplay, because if you do not do that, you will run out of ammo, A1, which is really bad because, you know, you can't fight back in that case. But then also, you just need to make sure they can still be moved around. I'm not really sure what I should be doing up here. I'm going to try to take this guy out, and I think I can take both these guys out.
I have a question from the chat really quick. Lexicon Devil wants to know if you can use other input devices, like if it's just mouse and keyboard on PC, or can they use a racing wheel, for instance, as an input device?
Haven't tried the racing wheel yet, but the game, you can actually go to athenacrisis.com, and even on that website, the gamepad works, so you can try your racing wheel there. If it doesn't work, then I'm happy to make that work if it sounds like a fun challenge. But yeah, the idea, given that the game works on every platform, the idea is that the user interface and the user experience should be like as transferable as possible between all types of devices, all screen sizes, and all input methods. So the game works with touch, with mouse, keyboard, and gamepad. So you can like basically play the same game on any device, and it feels the same, even though the input method is different. And you know, that's another cool thing about the way that the technology works, is that you can literally, you know, Matthew is like playing this game right now, but like after this stream, he could like go out for a walk and like keep playing the same map on his phone, and then come back and play on like his phone, like, or something like that.
Sorry. I did the worst thing in the world. I did exactly what Christoph said not to do, and I left the path open directly to my plane, and it got shot down. And that was a really rough one, because that fighter jet had like 20% health, but it was still enough to pop my my damn escort. So I failed this mission once again, but I'm learning every time I do it, and that's the name of the game in these strategy games. Even if you fail, you come back and you're a little smarter next time around. I don't know if I can redo that last turn. You do have an undo turn button, but I think as soon as you lose a mission, you're kind of locked out. So, yeah. Well, I learned a lot today in the single player game. There is a bountiful amount of maps in the pre-co campaign. I know you're working on the full campaign right now for the actual launch in May, I think is when we're saying that the full game is coming out. If we haven't mentioned it yet, this game is in early access right now. You can go to Steam today and play this game, Athena Crisis, but there's a full pre-co campaign, a bunch of user-generated maps, PvP maps, user-generated campaigns, a couple of those. But there's the full pre-co campaign is available, and I really do hope you dig into it. So, I thought I'm usually pretty good at playing games on Twitch. Today, I've failed.
Syntax Cowboy does have one more question. They want to know if each unit has its own AI or if all the AI works with constraints of each unit type. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, the AI is on a per faction basis. So when you end your turn, the AI will figure out what to do with each individual unit, and it also focuses on like each individual's unit's capabilities. So some units can capture buildings, some units can do some really wild things that I haven't revealed yet. I think there might be a map later that we can like check out. But yeah, the AI like knows what to do with each unit.
And I'll get one question here as well. Butch Diamond, can you create your own maps? Stick around, Butch Diamond. You're going to see a lot of. One of my favorite things to do in the last week or two has been fooling around with the map editor. So we have a full map editor, full campaign editor too. It's pretty easy to get into. We'll show that whole thing in a bit. But yeah, that's coming up.
So we're actually going to transition into a PvP map. And since obviously Christoph is the master here, we're going to make it a little more challenging for him. So we have a dev, a seasoned player, and myself as the noob, and we're going to hop into a 2v1 match. So it's me, Rorie, and myself versus Christoph, and I think this is going to be hopefully pretty funny. We'll see. We'll see if we can survive long enough to get some good gameplay in here for you guys.
So I did want to mention before we get into this, there are some units in here that are kind of like there are some. I don't. How do you describe these, Christoph? Hidden units or special units? Because there are some maps that'll have like units that you might not normally be able to build. Certainly, like the dragon here, and we have another one to show off later. But so this PvP map, it looks like I'm playing pink, and I have 800 units to spend or funds to spend. I need to build some stuff because we're on the same team. Steph and I, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Versus you? Okay, good. So we should probably just make sure that we're building cool stuff.
I did request the dragons, so I'm very happy to see them in here.
I'm gonna build a heavy tank because I feel like building something big here. I only have 200 funds left, so I'm gonna make an infantry unit as well. The standard kind of economy, I wouldn't say standard, but the economy does matter in Athena Crisis. You have all these buildings, barracks. I could have built something on the barracks too. You'll also have houses, which can generate funds to you every turn. So every turn you're gonna have a few more funds coming into your coffers. But I always find it wise to build as much as you can every turn. So I have a feeling down here is where Christoph's main forces are. We have Steph is golden over here, so I can't attack her. She's on my team. I'm gonna try and wipe out this super tank. Obviously, that is a big threat. I don't know. How many units can I actually attack this with? I think I can only attack it with 2 because I can't get below it, and Steph is up here. So I'm gonna try to hit it with a rocket launcher. It's pretty powerful, but it won't be able to do much damage in return. And then I think so I can't attack that unit anymore. I'm going to try to start moving south and check out what Christoph has going on. I have a feeling it's that's not great. So the heavy tanks are going to easily outclass my little lighter tanks here. I also have a mech that can move around. But we can blockade. I think the smart thing to do here is blockade this bridge so he can't get across. And we'll try to just gum up the works here. It's possible Christoph has air units. We're not going to see through the fog of war. So we'll find out shortly. I'm going to make sure all my units are... I can attack one more time, but that would do barely any damage, and this guy would take a bunch. So I think I'm going to not worry about that for now. I'm just trying to move down here. Sometimes you don't...
cross across the little railroad at the bottom?
Yes, that would be this can, I believe land units can cross on rails, but also there are special rail only units that can only be built on rails. So if you ever see I forget what the cannon was from World War II, the Big Bertha or something like that, you can definitely build that here. I think that's all I can do for this turn, so I'm gonna pass it. I believe this is going to turn. Oh, this is a multiplayer game, so you can get push notifications if you would like to have them for gameplay. And I don't know whose turn it is now. Is this yours, Steph? Yeah, can you can...
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna make... I almost want to make a little jeep to kind of scout down below, because they can go pretty far pretty quickly. And then let's see if I can take out... Oh, I don't know if I can take this guy out. 16. All my guys are gonna... No, let's just start peppering him.
Yeah.
I think if we do a combo wombo attack here.
Sure.
We
You
can
have
get him.
dragons. Don't forget the dragons are pretty powerful too. So I'll let you play your turn. I'm not going to be back chair generaling here.
Yeah, you let me figure this out, okay?
Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna let's see. I wanna see if he has some like hidden units over here too.
Sorry, I'm refreshing the page real quick. Sorry, apologize for that.
Let's make ooh, make a little sniper boy. We're gonna put him here. And then I can't really get through the bridge because you are hanging out there.
Yeah, I kind of made the executive decision to try to block it off.
That's okay. That's okay. So I'm maybe my guys, my orange guys, are gonna kind of start moving down this right side, and maybe we can see what's going on down there. I'm gonna go ahead and end my turn. Pass it on to blue.
Awesome. All right, I'm worried about this turn here because I think it's going to be. Christoph kind of had a smile in his face when he said he was sending this map to us, so I have a feeling there's bad stuff coming.
Yeah, okay, let me just get a bit of a setup here and like move some
Cool.
units into place.
Sure, why not? Look forward to seeing what you're packing here. There are so many units in this game that I don't think I've even played with them all. Like we said, there are some hidden and surprise units that you kind of find and on certain maps. They're kind of hidden by the fog of war. Let me refresh again real quick. If you see us refreshing, pay no attention. Just trying to update the game state. Here we go. So what do we got here? Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to reveal the Bazooka Bear. This is like one of my favorite units. The leader Bazoo has like a whole side quest in the single player campaign later on. And the cool thing about that one is it's very similar to the X-Fighter. It has like both a short and long range unit. It's obviously a special unlockable unit that you can hire at a special building that, you'll have to play the full single player campaign to figure that out. But the cool thing about it is that it can like do long range attacks and it can attack basically anything.
Wow.
So it's like one of those like special units that is like really cool. But
And
then I got a bunch of other ones there.
Yep.
Those are also special units that are also part of like the single player campaign. I think that the key thing here to point out is that yes, at its core, it's like a very like standard kind of like turn-based tactical game, and like you can set up maps that way. But there are also like a bunch of special units that can completely like change the gameplay. And so one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna like use my zombie unit, and the way it works is that it attacks another unit. That unit counterattacks, but then the unit that was being attacked converts to your faction. And so it like can take over the whole board basically by
the
just
classic
like
bites.
stealing units. Yeah. So
That's really cool.
unfortunately, I missed getting to that dragon, but like it's kind of like in Game of Thrones where I don't want to spoil anything, but like it's like a similar situation going on. Like maybe I could take that dragon in the next turn.
Wow.
With my zombie units.
I always love anything where I can take away my opponent's. Let me refresh again real quick. I would love any kind of game mechanic where I can take my opponent's units and use them against them. So that was. You still have a couple tanks if you want to move them. I'm not sure you're done with your turn or you've done enough damage. It looks like there's a goddamn zombie up here too. Pardon my French. You've really percolated the environment here.
Yeah, I just paid a little visit.
Awesome. Is it my turn now? It is,
Yeah.
it looks like. Okay,
Sorry,
cool.
You have to refresh one more time.
Okay.
So the game has async and sync multiplayer, but when there was the early access launch yesterday, there's a few hiccups that we're fixing right now. But normally you'll be able to play this.
Yeah. You'll get more. There's no plan that survives contact with the enemy, as our producer said the other day. It's always going to be. Man, I really got whacked by your team here. I don't think I'm gonna do a lot of damage to Bazooka Bear because I don't think that I really want to see that pop off. And I want to start taking out other things. You have a large advantage here, and I do not think this is gonna really last a huge amount longer.
Sorry for setting up the map in an unfair way.
No worries. When you said you wanted to do 2-on-1, I kind of had a feeling.
I love it. It's really cool to see.
It's also really neat because it's also really neat because, you know, like I said, you play this in a browser, you can just refresh the page all you want. Sometimes you'll see like an automatic update. It takes like a couple seconds to just refresh and get all the new updates because it's all kind of provided here.
Like changing the game. Yeah. So the cool thing about this whole system is that when somebody gives feedback, I can make the change, and within 4 minutes, it goes live to every single person, and they don't have to like download updates or close the game or anything. It like literally just updates live.
Yeah, we all have stories from as we've been making this game to as we've been helping Christoph, you know, develop and working on the behind the scenes. We all have stories about playing the game, like on our off hours, and Christoph will just pop into chat and say, "What happened there? How did you crash the game?" It's always we're in the panopticon when it comes to playing Athena Crisis. So I think on my turn, I think I'm basically dead. I don't wait. I can build another infantry unit, I guess, but I don't think that's really going to do much to turn the tide of battle here. So I'll pass this over to Steph and see if she can do anything.
It's up to me now, folks. I love how Chaz says the world needs Bazooka Bear plushies. Okay, so let's see what I can do here. Well, I think, well, do I want to waste my dragon? It's these zombies are freaking me out. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I just thought we'll have a little fun. So the way this works actually in the game, one thing I'm a huge fan of, like progressively discovering like complexities. So these sort of things don't matter or shouldn't matter to like an average playthrough, or when you're just starting the prequel campaign. But then let's say you're playing the single player campaign, you unlock like a certain secret mission, you run into those zombies, and the way then that you get them unlocked for your game is through skills. And so the game has this system called skills and powers. So when you start a new game against somebody else or a new campaign map, you can pick some skills to take with you into the battle. And some of those skills might, you know, raise your attack range or something like that, or they improve your defense, or they heal all your units. You know, they might unlock the zombie unit, and then you can like completely change the gameplay. You know, obviously the balancing here is like not super easy all the time, but for casual games, it should mix things up a lot.
So if I obscured the screen for a second, I am running in a browser. I've always worried about window capture. Thank you, Jim.
Here we go. I'm taking some of the zomboys out. Let's see.
I still don't think we're gonna have as much.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Maybe if I can hide my guys down here, you know?
There's probably even more stuff down the in the fog of war that we can't even see. So it's going to be pretty tough to know even how much damage we have to do to survive. But I think I only have 4 or 5 units left, and they have super tanks, and I don't think it's going to be. We definitely can do it.
I'm gonna make another tank because why not? And then yeah, we're gonna head it on over to blue.
All right, am I doing one more turn? Is that how it works?
Yeah, go for it. I think. Should I refresh?
Yeah, maybe. Like I saw earlier, it was updating just fine, but it's yeah,
okay.
It's doing this kind of thing. Seems like now it's not again. But the one thing that I just really want is like I want to just take over one of those dragons, even if it costs me one of my zombie units. So in the next turn now, finally I have an ice dragon, I guess, because it's blue now.
Cool.
Maybe you can show that off really quick.
Oh sure, let me refresh real quick.
And then I think I'm also maybe gonna take the headquarter here with my zombie unit and turn all of Steph's units into zombies.
Does that work?
That's
yeah.
so cool.
That is an odd way of going about it, but I'm surprised. So usually if you capture the HQ, you automatically win in single player at least. But in multiplayer, what does happen when you capture a
you just take over the building.
All their units, okay. So it's not just a zombie doing it.
But I am thinking that if you do take over a headquarter with a zombie, it might be really fun if you also get their units. But haven't done that yet. You know, sounds like a fun fun little change that you could add. You know, and that's like one of those things that the system allows to add through a skill. So you could like, if you unlock multiple skill slots, you could unlock the zombie skill to like build zombies, and then have another skill on top of that to, you know, maybe convert all the units when you capture an HQ. And then like in certain situations with like more than 2 players, this could be like a really cool way to mix up the gameplay. And then somebody else, you know, might just have like a skill to raise the attack of one of their units by like 300% or something, and then, you know, that changes like how you play an individual game completely. And it like it gives you like a lot of value for replaying it.
And you can also, I don't think we mentioned, we can play with up to 7 people online, correct? So they're pretty big. Some of the maps, we'll show the map generator in a second here. Were you done with your turn, Chris? Is it Christoph, or is it my turn?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I think we can move on to the map editor now.
Right, let's do that, yeah. So if you want to play big battles, join the Discord. There are a lot of people always like starting up PvP battles, so you can join there and find some people to play with. They ping us too. Maybe I'll be online. You can always find me joining stuff. I'm not very good at PvP stuff myself, so I will probably defer to the you know, the actual professional people. But all right, we are going to take a look now into, let me find this real quick, the campaign and map editor. As you see, I have a million different maps here that I've been working on. I've been doing a lot of building for various video projects and everything like that. But I do think the map and campaign editor is really fun to play around with. So the map editor, let me zoom out a little bit here. Oh, I am in the design phase, so I'm actually laying down tiles here. I wanted to kind of show off how this works. I'm going to play test for a second here just so I can center this map a little bit.
Wait, can you just show that again? I think that's like one of the key things really that like allows you to create like so quickly. So this is the map editor, right? But you said, let me just play test really quickly, and like you just hit that one button, and it, you know, it doesn't even show you any animation. It doesn't show you a loading screen, nothing. Like in all comparable games, it takes like a few seconds to jump in and out of playtesting. But you know, I'm really trying to give a little bit of this kind of sandbox and a gameplay, if you will, to this game, where you can jump in and out of like playtesting, you know, immediately or like instantly, and that way you can like test certain mechanics in the map editor. You can make sure that like certain units can reach other things or not, which should really speed up like how quickly you can build a map.
I've been fooling around with, like I said, a fair amount. I've been trying to I haven't really made like a full map or campaign or anything like that. But like you said, I'm just hitting P and I'm coming back and I'm going in here. I can lay down fresh tiles if I want to find, like I said, one of these units that can only be played on a rail, a train. This is I'm going to go back and check a look here real quick. This is the Mammoth tank or artillery unit, I suppose. It's really a railgun is what it's called. So this can only be built on tiles. And you can make a full campaign. You can make dialogue into a map if you want to. You can make single player maps on their own. Like people are going to make challenge maps, which can only be solved in one way. You can also probably, I don't know, there is at least one person on the Discord, Flack, has made an entire user generated campaign, which is very good. We'll be showing some of that off on our social channels as well. But yes, so I've been fooling around with it. It's really easy. It makes it really easy to make like trailer footage, I'll say. If you've seen the trailer at the beginning of the stream, that was mostly done in the editor with all the dialogue and everything like that. So you can kind of just pop in and pop out. We have 2 teams here. If you want to make a challenge, I'm going to put down a few more of these, like our bigger ships here, and some more artillery units. And once you're ready to go, you just hit P, and I'm going to pass my turn here real quick and let the other team go. So there's actually 4 teams on this map, but a couple of them don't have very many units. So we're just going to have a little battle here. But what else do you want to say about the map editor? Was this difficult to make for you? This is what you used to make the game, correct?
Yeah, I just generally don't like non-visual tools for these sort of things, you know, where like you're in a text editor and like putting something like this together, it takes way too long, it's not fun. So for me, one of the key things is like the entire every single thing that you see in the prequel campaign and the main campaign is like built through the tools that are available to every single player. So any player could like build exactly the same campaign, or you know, can build a better campaign than what we're building. And oh yeah, you got a bunch of octopi in your squad there. That's like pretty fun.
We're probably showing off too many secret units here, but we've seen you did make this add these to this map specifically for me. So I have dragons and the octopi. The octopi are super powerful against
gotta
units.
have a little fun. So the thing that I'm so excited about is you can set up like really unique scenarios. I mentioned already the win conditions earlier on the first map you were playing. So there's like a ton of different ones of those. And then in the campaign editor, you can actually put branching points in. So you can say, okay, if you like escort this unit by label, like what we saw earlier, you can unlock that map. But if you beat all the enemy unit, you unlock that map and another map, and that way you can like have branching points in the campaign as well to like give different have different routes, do shortcuts, or add like certain branches where you like have special like side quests or something like that, which is really fun. And then the other thing, like I just added a secret mission to the prequel campaign that like you actually, because of the way the system works, is like you cannot like reverse engineer to like see some of those details unless you like actually unlock the secret and find it. And the cool thing there is that I started building the secret map on my laptop, but then I ran out of time, and then it was like bedtime or whatever, and then I like pulled out my phone and I kept like building that same map out like on my phone, and I like play tested on my phone, and then the next morning I went back to my laptop and like I finished off the map and like shipped it to everyone. So that's just like a really fun thing to do, where you cannot just play anywhere. You can also like make this like on any device, wherever you are. You can like build more campaigns and more maps.
That is amazing. As somebody who doesn't even like to talk on my phone or type on it, I would probably stick to the browser editor myself. But yes, if you are a budding game designer, you can make a full campaign with dialogue and back and forth and multiple win conditions and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what some people come up with as they dig more into Athena Crisis now that it's in early access.
I actually think we have some user created maps that we were potentially gonna show off here.
Sure, yeah, I can dig into something. Let's see now. Maybe I'll go back to the browser real quick, and you can always find where would be the best space to look at some. I'll do a new game, and we'll try to do a user-generated one. Community maps is what they're called here. Do you have anyone you recommend here, Christoph?
Yeah, so that's the map browser. You're like kind of just like skimming over it, but on the top there's like a filter, so you can like just pick the map that you want to see. So you're in the community maps tab, but then here you can like filter based on what you want to do. So maybe just pick a swamp map.
Cool. Let's take a look.
Very hard to pronounce for me. Yeah, and then you see like all the maps that are matching this biome. So you can kind of like those look really pretty, for example.
Yeah,
so those
this one's interesting.
All of these were built by the community, and you were talking about how you wouldn't make one of those maps on your phone. Some of the users are actually like really excited to make some of these maps on their iPhones, and like I think it's really amazing that people don't really they pick whatever device they have, and they just build these sort of maps.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So this is a single player map, not even a campaign map, but it does have a dialogue, so you can actually also add like little stories to even PvP games where different players see different messages at the beginning about what they have to do, that sort of stuff.
This is crazy. So I haven't played this one before, but I apparently have I'm pink and I have the supply train that I need to escort to the enemy HQ and blow up, which is a genius kind of conceit for a level. I only have 700 cash. I'm gonna say this is going to be difficult because I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I really think the setup for this is nice. So I'm gonna try to build something here real quick, and I need to defend my own HQ from this train that's coming my way. I want to make an artillery unit, and I'm going to try to start moving this guy. I don't think I can right now. Maybe it needs a turn to start.
Oh, they're out of fuel. So
they're out of fuel. Oh.
First resupply them and then move them over. That's
okay. So I need to get a, that would be a Jeep down here, right?
Yep.
I think I screwed up because I didn't make one, so I'm gonna try to pass.
I think you're actually like kind of exposing one more part about like Athena Crisis is like how it can like kind of suck you in, and then you're just like in the game. Like we're like kind of streaming here, and you like just find a random map and you jump in and like, oh my god, how do I win this? How do I beat this like scenario? And so that's like really something that I take a lot of care of, like trying to give that feeling of to people that like, hey, I just want to like go and win this right now. It's amazing to see that there's community members that are like building these maps. Like I didn't come up with this scenario. It was one of the most prolific contributors to the game so far who built a bunch of amazing maps. And the cool thing is that it extends the playtime for everyone, right? So as more people play the game, as more people create maps and campaigns, the game will just have more and more content.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting it now. I'm seeing what I have to do. I should have built a Jeep the first turn and move it down because Jeeps can resupply. Since that unit is, I built a Humvee. I don't think I did it right. Can Humvees resupply? I think I
No,
built a wrong.
Humvees are not resupplying. No.
I already screwed this map up, but in my defense, I've only played this is the first time I've ever tried it. So, there are a bunch, and we should give a shout out to Flack. He is they are a very prolific community member, and they've been making a bunch of maps and campaigns, and they are just really cranking a lot of stuff out. So if you get through the prequel campaign or looking for more stuff to play, you can definitely play a bunch of user generated maps. So, there's a million of them so far. I'll go back to the editor here real quick. So we got community maps, as many as you can possibly want. Some of these are going to be for PvP. That is really interesting. Look at this.
Yeah, no, I do want to say this one is like I think the largest map we have in the game so far, and I even like increased the maximum map size for this person, and they built this entire map on an iPhone.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. This is huge. It looks already just like a very complicated kind of setup. It's asynchronous for sure, or asymmetrical. I'd be curious how they balance this kind of stuff. This must be teams, right? They're probably
Setup tab. Sorry, I split that up recently. Yeah, so
no
this
worries.
one is one
Wow.
versus
Oh,
six.
one versus six. Okay, that's crazy. You are being attacked from all sides. That's really neat. So, are you surprised at what people are coming up with in terms of like the community members and their custom maps? Like they're doing some really interesting stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's another reason why I want to provide all these like editing tools. Obviously, we have good ideas about what certain maps we want to show off, what we want to do in the campaign. But I think this type of game benefits so much from having an active community around, and like people can just come up and like they have ideas of stuff that I didn't even think about. So either that's already in the game, like they're building like some of these maps where I'm like, oh wow, this scenario is super interesting. I never thought about it. Or if they're building a map and they're like, oh, I wish I could do this one thing, then they come and talk to me on Discord, and then I tend to add things when they sound like really good ideas, like they're adding a lot of value to the game, and so that way the game benefits a lot from having these contributions, not just by making maps but also by suggesting, hey, I want to like have a puzzle map or a puzzle mode that like you have to do this in one turn. I want to have a win condition like that, and like we added a bunch of like win conditions and like features to the map editor based on the feedback from the community so far. So the game is definitely better because of the community, not just because of the maps they're creating, but also because of all the ideas they're having to make it even better.
I am looking at this map, and it seems like it's going to be a really hard uphill battle against. It's really amazing because they have like a naval unit. I'm assuming this is going to be mostly barracks and infantry, and there's some tile people as well. But they already have a huge. I don't have any units at all to start with, and they're just going to come running for me. So. I look forward to digging into more UGC stuff. Was there anything else you wanted to say about UGC before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this map, I would love
I
to
know.
just put this into the campaign, right? Because this seems like such an interesting scenario, and maybe this could be interesting as a PvP map where you have like a really large group of people and like one person who's like an expert, and like you'll see if they can beat them. But it's also a really great like single player campaign where single player map where you're just the pink player. And then just see if you can beat them. And if you wanted to, you could also just choose one of the other factions. Like you could choose green, and then see if you, together with all the other AI players, can beat like one AI that has a lot more resources, right? So the cool thing is you can set up the game in any way that you like to try or play in any style that you want.
That's really fascinating. I find I'm not a big like I don't make a lot of content for games even when there is an editor, so I always find this kind of stuff fascinating. But you've definitely struck a chord with some of your community members. And again, if you're watching the stream, please join the Discord. Everybody's chatting a lot about balancing, about the updates, and what's coming up. So very active community for Athena Crisis. And if you're interested, you can play it right now in early access. I think we have a link to Steam.
Yeah, actually, speaking of, let's just do it right now. I'm actually going to roll for 2 giveaways. So I'm going to probably do it back to back. We're going to give away 2 keys to the game. So good luck, everybody. If you've been typing Athena Crisis in the chat, now's your time. So we're going to do the first one right here. It looks like it's J Danger. Congratulations. Do me a favor and type into the chat just so I can see you're there.
Nice.
And then the next one, we're going to do a quickie here. Awesome Kling. Congratulations to you as well. I'll get those codes over to you via Whisper, and I hope you really enjoy the game. So, Christoph, before we let you go, do you have any departing words for us? Anything you'd like to let the chat know about?
Yeah, I mean, just want to hit on that again. That I really want to build like an inclusive community to make this game like as awesome as it can be. Like my ambition initially was to just go and see if I can build the game with the technology that I picked. Now that we're past that, my ambition has kind of grown to just making it. This is like a niche kind of game in like a niche genre, but trying to make it like the best game in that genre. And so there's something that I haven't really widely announced yet that I still want to like keep secret between all the people that are listening here on
Yeah.
the stream. But I want to open source like most of this game, so people cannot just contribute their ideas. They can also just go and like send a change and like add a skill, add a unit, add a behavior, add features to the map editor, and just like help make this game as fun as it can be for everyone.
Awesome.
Awesome. That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for hopping on stream with us. The chat looks really excited. So many comments about how cool the game looks, how awesome the gameplay is. So just really appreciate you taking the time to hop on here and hang out with us.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. And don't forget, there will be people. There will be people playing Athena Crisis on Twitch all week. So definitely keep tuning in, search for it. And I've been watching people all day play because they're finally getting into the early access phase of it. So, good stuff.
And then I think Rory, I'm going to kick this to you though, because you are
Awesome.
kind of the master on this. Let's talk
Sure.
about dare drops.
Let's talk about Dare Drop. So we are partnering with a company called Dare Drop that does a lot of influencer kind of, they bring people to play the games, and they have this fun little system where you can do dares, which we internally have built for. First one is Demon Spore. There's some of that going on for Athena Crisis right now, but a lot of people did tune into the Demon Spore, which if you haven't played Demon Spore yet, the demo is still available on Steam, I believe. It was part of a Steam Next Fest a couple weeks ago, and we do have some people we want to shout out for actually contributing and completing some dares. So we have Burktime Gaming, Heen, and Revive Snow all put a lot of time and effort into Demon Spore during Next Fest a few weeks ago. You'll see Burktime Gaming playing the game with a Guitar Hero controller, which was not something I thought was supported. That might be out of bounds, but people always have fun ways of playing games. You can't tell them what to do on Twitch. I've learned that quite a bit. So if you're a streamer, we'd love to support you. We do have a partnership with Daredrop. We'd love to talk about it more. I believe you can do a command and chat right now to learn more about it. I believe someone just did that. Probably Steph.
Yeah,
Um,
I did.
So if you are on Twitch or YouTube or TikTok, you're a content creator, feel free to ping us. We can reach us through null.com/pitch, and we'd love to get you in touch with the Daredrop people if you're interested. And like I said, a lot of people are going to be doing Athena Crisis this week as part of Daredrop as well. So we'll have some more shout outs in the future on our streams to let you know what they're up to. But definitely it's been a fruitful partnership so far. I'm looking forward to doing more in the future.
And I think that's about it for us today, guys. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. It's really awesome to see you guys come through when we do these. A lot of familiar faces that I'm seeing. So thanks for following. If you guys are new, do me a favor, hit that follow button. You'll hopefully get a notification next time we go live. You can also be sure to follow us on all our social channels. We do let you know when streams are upcoming there. And the last but not least, if you scroll down a little bit in the information panels down below, you can see all the games that are currently you are able to wish list on Steam, and that really helps us out. So if anything catches your eye, if you see anything that intrigues you while we are doing these live streams, go ahead and hit check that down below out and hit the wish list for us.
Yeah. And one last thing before we move on. We are going to be at PAX East in Boston in a couple weeks. I think from today, 2 weeks from today, we'll be in Boston. We're going to be at booth 15104, I believe, smack dab in the middle of the hall. We're going to bring Athena Crisis. We're going to bring Tape to Tape. We're going to bring Street Dog BMX and Demon Spore. So if you're coming to PAX, we'll have pins. We'll have little cards to give away with information. We're going to have special T-shirts for us. Not for you, but maybe we can work something out if you really want one. I haven't gone to PAX in forever, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's been maybe 5 or 6 years for me, personally. I went as part of Giant Bomb. I was press. I was wandering the halls. I didn't exhibit. I've done exhibitions before, and I might getting too old for this shit kind of
Oh,
thing. Can
yeah,
I
same.
stand up all day again? Well, we'll figure it out. That's what Red Bull's for. But we're looking forward to showing off more of that, and we'll probably have another stream next week. We need to plan out some stuff, but we do want to do another stream right before PAX. So if you tune in next week, keep an eye on the Twitch channel that you're on right now, and we will hopefully have a little roundup of PAX events before we actually hit the road. We're gonna have a lot of people coming. We're gonna have some devs there too. Unfortunately, Christoph isn't going to be able to make it. He has other plans where you can meet the devs for at least one of the devs for Demon Spore and Street Talk BMX and Tape to Tape. We should all have some dev representation there. And if you are a member of the press or a streamer, want to come by, feel free to drop us a line, and we can probably accommodate you. We're making the schedule right now.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks so much, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
All right, bye everybody.